Hello, I'm Paul and this is the start of the Hadrianswall challenge. So myself and my team, we've got Chris there, our support driver, and Stefan, ex-Romanian professional athlete, and we've got Mike coming later on today as well. We're going to be going west to east along Hadrianswall path, 84 miles in 4 days, and this is our start point at Bowness-on-Solway. The plan is to run as much as we can today, certainly as far as Carlisle Castle if we can, and then walk this afternoon or whenever we need to. And we're doing this to raise money for 3 mental health organisations. This one, Mental Health Football, which is an organisation run by volunteers in Oldham, and also on the back of my shirt, Samaritans, the Rochdale and Oldham grads, and also Pathlight Ltd, which is an online peer support community around mental health and wellbeing. So we've raised over £2,000 so far. Hope the donations keep coming in, and who knows where we'll get to. So this is the beginning. We're ready to go. We've stretched, we've warmed up, got sun cream on, got sunglasses, loads of water, plasters on the nipples to prevent chafing, and we're ready to go. So we'll keep you updated. Here we are on the first leg, 10-kilometre stretch of very flat road and countryside path. We've probably got about 2k to go to the first checkpoint where we'll meet up with Chris, have a drink, have a stretch, have a rest. And there's Stefan. We're on the second leg now, about 2 miles west of Carlisle, which is our lunchtime stop point. We're going to have a stretch and a protein shake and a mooch around Carlisle Castle. It's warm, sunny, hardly a cloud in the sky. Pretty much ideal running conditions. Feeling good so far. The various injuries seem to be okay. Stefan's doing well. There he is. And we'll check in a bit later. Here I am inside the walls of Carlisle Castle. We're at our halfway point on day 1. So we've covered about 21 kilometres, a half marathon this morning. I've had some lunch, I've freshened up, and just taking in a bit of history. So I'll be on the way shortly for the afternoon leg. Day 1 of Hadrianswall challenge has finished. It's been a really enjoyable day for me, and I think the rest of the team. We started off at Bowness-on-Solway on the west coast, just underneath Scotland. Set off at about 10 to 9 this morning, and we ran the first 14 miles or so to Carlisle with a little break halfway, and then we walked the last 12 miles or so to where we are now, which is Wolstenholme. Stefan is experiencing some pain in his legs, but other than that we're doing okay. So we'll see how we feel tomorrow, and maybe walk most of tomorrow and perhaps a bit of running, see how we go. It's a very hilly day tomorrow, so yeah, that will slow us down, no doubt. It was pretty flat today. So yeah, really enjoyed today. The weather was beautiful, ideal conditions really, if a little warm, but I am not complaining at all. It was great. The scenery was lovely as well, countryside and the coast, and really peaceful, really still. Mike met up with us this afternoon. He's not feeling great at the moment, but he walked a little way with us, and Chris, our support driver, also did some walking in between the stops as well. So dinner tonight outside in the garden, tasted like just the best meal I've had for a very long time. So yeah, looking forward to tomorrow and looking forward to what will hopefully be a good night's rest. So yeah, looking forward to tomorrow, where we will get our first sighting of the wall and hopefully visit at least one of the English Heritage payable sites, the forts. Day 2 of Hadrianswall Challenge. Just doing my warm-up exercises before I set off running. I'm doing this first leg of about 4 miles, I think, on my own, and that's good because I can catch up some time and hopefully have some space to visit 1 or 2 of the forts on this very scenic second section, which apparently is the most beautiful, and also most of the remains of the wall and various forts and such like. So looking forward to today, although it's over 20 miles we're doing today, and also very hilly, so it's going to be challenging after yesterday's exertions, but we'll see how we go. And when we reach our destination, which is called the Old Repeater Station in Grindon, we'll be 2 days into the 4-day challenge, but well over halfway miles wise. So let's see how we go. Day 2, stage 2. We are near Willowford. We had a visit to Oswald Roman Fort, if that's how you pronounce it.
Second day of running.
And we're running alongside Hadrianswall at the moment. This is a section that's considered the most beautiful and the most retained section of wall. So if you're only going to do 1 or 2 days, this is the bit to do apparently. So we're feeling pretty good. A few aches and pains, but ticking along nicely so far. And Stefan's doing okay.
Thank you, alright.
And on we go. We're approaching the lunchtime stop on day 2, and we're approaching the summit of whatever hill this is. We've done quite a lot of climbing this morning, and yeah, we ran on the flat parts and the downhill parts, and walking the uphill parts mostly. And Stefan, who's behind me, he's in a bit of pain, so he's saying he can't do any more running today, maybe tomorrow. So just trying to work out some timings as regards getting to Housestead's Fort, which is near our overnight stop. And I'm keen to get there if we can before it closes. I suppose it's I've heard it's one of the best forts to visit. And yeah, I've been reflecting whilst walking about the nature of this challenge. And yes, it's a physical challenge, very much so. It's also a mental challenge, because at times your mind can play tricks on you, tell you stories, tell you can't go on any further. So I was prepared for that, having done a couple of marathons before and various other challenges that feel difficult, and you might tell yourself it's unachievable, and then you actually do achieve it. So the mental challenge is going okay at the moment, but the other level of challenge that I'm noticing for myself is a relational challenge, the human challenge, and it's partly, I suppose, the pressure of being the leader And yeah, I've made a couple of mistakes today with the navigation again, so clearly that's not my strong point. And I've been reflecting on how I can try and overcome language barriers to encourage Stefan to take a little bit of the responsibility as well for looking out for the little acorn markers on the signpost to show us which way to go. And also, we're all very different. We have different backgrounds, different beliefs, different ways of being in the world. And yeah, some people have views which we don't share, or strong opinions. So I've just been trying to see how I deal with that when there's somebody who expresses a strong opinion or a controversial opinion or something that's completely opposed to my own way of being, I suppose. And how do I deal with that? Do I challenge it? Do I ask more? Do I just go quiet or change the subject? So this is the relational challenge that I am encountering, and it's not a bad thing, it's just a thing, and it's an opportunity for growth and learning. So another element of the challenge that perhaps I wasn't fully appreciative of before we started out. And I'm grateful for all challenges. Okay, so I'll just turn the camera around so you can see a little bit where we are. It's spectacular. There's Stefan.
And with me.
And see what we can see over here. Ah, yeah, we're pretty high up. Decent vista as we approach
A large valley.
Caulfield Quarry for our lunch. Section 3 of day 2, nearly complete. 1 mile to go, and we visit Housted's Fort, which is one of the better ones, I believe. Just walking fast most of the way of this leg, and there's been some very steep climbs, so I'm a very sweaty man. And yeah, it looks like we're going to get there before the ticket office closes, so all good. And the scenery has just been spectacular. The weather's been wonderful as well. I don't think we could have picked a better week to do this. I imagine it wouldn't be the same kind of experience if it was chucking it down and windy and cold. Well, it wouldn't be the same experience, but even more of a challenge, I'm sure. So yeah, loving it. It's going great. The legs are tired, but lots of vim in the tank, lots of motivation, and we'll just see how we're doing tomorrow. I definitely am going to book myself in for a massage though when I get home. And it's been lovely chatting to other people on the trail. Lots of very friendly folk, and just a kind of camaraderie, I suppose, in that we're all doing a trek. We're all got some kind of challenge, whether we're doing just one day or the full 84 miles. And everyone does it for different reasons. And it's lovely, just to chat with people, and everyone's dead friendly. Most people are dead friendly. There's people from all different nations and different ages and abilities. And yeah, it's just been so peaceful. It's lovely not seeing cars and not hearing anything other than the bleating of sheep and the odd tweet of a bird. So yeah, it's very wonderful so far. And a little while back we passed a marker saying that we were at the halfway point of Hadrianswall. So cue the Bon Jovi song. I won't sing it. And we also passed Sycamore Gap, where two men, I nearly said gentlemen, but I suspect they might not be gentlemen, cut down the famous old tree. I think it was 300 years old or something. Anyway, onwards and not upwards, because we've just crested the last hill, I think. Well, I can see one more ahead, and I think it will be downhill and flat to the end of this section. So we're at the old repeater station. We've got Mike enjoying some IPA. Yeah. And then we've got Chris enjoying
Wagtail.
Wagtail. Yeah. And I'm on the dark beer as usual, and I had half a pint of this and felt very tipsy, and Chris reckons it's because of all the exertions of today. And here we are with our host Les, who's got many a tale. Hadrianswall Challenge Day 2 completed successfully, and really enjoyed it today. It was lovely scenery, beautiful weather, and we took in 2 of the Roman forts as well. Housesteads was very impressive, so highly recommend that. So yeah, this morning set off a little bit later than planned because I had to clean up the mess in my rucksack from my exploding protein shake that had fermented. And we saw our first bit of wall, but yeah, that was a moment, seeing the first bit of Hadrian's Wall. And what else happened today? Stefan washed his legs in the river. We went on a zip wire. We passed a children's playground, and even though we're on quite a tight schedule today, there's always time for some childlike fun. So I introduced Stefan to the joys of the playground zip wire, which I don't think he'd seen before. We're 2 days into our 4-day challenge. We are a little over halfway in miles, and we've got a relatively easy day tomorrow. I think it's just about 16 or 17 miles tomorrow, and some hills, but not as much as today. I think we did about 1,200 metres of elevation today, and my legs are a little on the tired side. Stefan is struggling a bit with pain in his thighs and knees, because he has got 13 years on me, as he keeps reminding me, so he's doing really well. And Chris and Mike have been helping us out with their vehicles and walking as well. I think Chris has done about 14 miles today, and everyone seems in pretty good spirits, and I'm really enjoying it. Looking forward to day 3 tomorrow.
Look, it looks as if
Hello, day 3 of Hadrianswall Challenge completed, and it was a relatively light day today, 18 miles and not too much elevation. So relatively speaking, it was a recovery day today. So it started off well with a slap-up breakfast at the old repeater station, and then the unexpected pleasure of sitting in a car that I had on my bedroom wall when I was a lad. 1981 Ferrari 308 GTS, owned by Les of the old repeater station. So off we went this morning. Stefan and I, we ran the first leg, and then walked because Stefan's still feeling pain in his knees and thighs. So we walked pretty much the rest of the day with a little run later on. And we visited Chester's Fort. Mike joined us there and had a guided tour with a very knowledgeable guide, and Chris and I are very shortly going to be going to dinner. We're at the Robin Hood Inn this evening, and it seems lovely. And the theme I wanted to talk about today was kindness and gratitude. So gratitude, first of all, I'm really grateful to Chris, who's just had a shower. He's doing a sterling job for us.
turn the camera on, right?
I won't turn the camera on. He's semi-naked, but yeah, he's doing a great job, and nothing is too much trouble for him. He's been a great help, and it would have been a real struggle to do this challenge without him. And I'm also grateful to everyone who's donated, so thank you very much. I think we're up to £2,350 now, which is lovely. And I'm also grateful to my body, because I'm quite surprised by how well it's holding up. I suppose I kind of expected to be in a lot of pain and discomfort and tiredness, and there is some stiffness and some tiredness, but generally doing really well. So thank you very much, Bonnie. You're doing a great job. And what else am I grateful for? I'm grateful for the privilege of doing this, because I'm very aware I'm in a privileged position to take the time out to do this and raise money for charities and such like. So there's that. And kindness is the other theme. And what I've really noticed throughout the challenge actually is how kind people are. And it echoes the sentiments I had when I did my fundraising open mic night, and I went around all the local businesses near me and said, I'm doing this challenge, is there anything you can donate for the raffle? And virtually everybody said, absolutely, great cause, have some stuff. And it was wonderful, and on the night we raised over £1,000, so that's due to the kindness of the people in my local community. And I found the same on the trail, with people that we pass and we have a chat. It's really lovely connecting with other people, perhaps going in the opposite direction, or we overtake them and have a chat, and it's great. And at the Robin Hood Inn, when I checked in this evening, I explained that Chris here has the camper van. Is it okay if he stays in the car park? Yes, no problem. And also we have our friend who is a big issue seller. Is it okay if he pitches his tent somewhere on your grass? And they said, absolutely no problem, we're not going to charge him, and he can have a free breakfast, free full English breakfast tomorrow. So he was licking his lips at that. So just lovely, we didn't even ask, we don't have to ask, people just offer. And it's the same on the trail, people just offer. If someone's having blisters, they help them out, helping each other with motivation and just chatting. It just raises the spirits and warms the cockles of the heart. So very wonderful. I'm definitely feeling the waves of tiredness, but maybe our evening meal, which I'm really looking forward to, will re-energise me. And I know there's 4 people at least that we met on the trail today who are staying here, so we'll perhaps have some chats with them as well. So tomorrow is the last day. We've got just over 21 miles to do tomorrow, and the plan is, for me at least, to run the whole thing if possible, or as much of it as possible, so I can get to the end before the museum at Wallsend closes at 4:30. Here we are on the final day of Hadrianswall Challenge, stage 2. We just left Headon on the wall, and we're running down to the River Tyne. And Stefan's taught me that running backwards, or walking backwards occasionally, is a good thing to do. I can't quite understand why, but I'm just taking his word for it. So.
The last day, yay!
Yes, last day. We're not winners yet. We've got another 15 miles to go yet, buddy. On we go. Hey.
Winners!
Well done. We are at the River Tyne, and it is not foggy. Stage 2 completed. 2 fairly long stages to go this afternoon. So we just need to wait for the rowing club to open in 12 minutes, so we can go to the toilet and maintain my 100% record of not going to the toilet in nature, using proper toilets all the time. Going well, and looking forward to this afternoon. We did it! We've finished Hadrianswall Challenge. 84 miles in 4 days, and so far we've raised £2,390. So donations are still coming in. I wonder how high that'll go. It's been a wonderful experience, really enjoyed it. And I'm already thinking about doing the same thing or something similar next year. And hopefully we'll get more people on board for whatever the next fundraising challenge might be. So today was a day of pushing the limits a little bit after what was a relatively easy day yesterday, 18 miles. Today it was 22 miles, I think, 21 miles. And yeah, we were tired. And I pushed Stefan a little bit too hard because I wanted us to stay together. I didn't want to go off on my own. And actually all of us wanted to get to the museum before it closed. And we did. We got there at about 4 o'clock, so we had about an hour looking around Segedunum, if that's how you pronounce it, which was the fort at the start of Hadrian's Wall. And it's really worth a visit, so I'm glad that we did that. But that did mean that I had to say to Stefan, can you run? Can you run this morning? Can you run this afternoon? When perhaps he would have really wanted to walk because he was in some pain. But he was up for it and he did it, and I was feeling fine, just heavy-legged, but feeling fine up until we're about 8 miles from the end. And then my ankle, which I sprained a few months ago, suddenly became really painful. I didn't twist it or anything, but that was uncomfortable. So just at that moment I received a message from one of my mental health football buddies who said, listen to your body, Paul. And that was an excellent reminder. Thank you, Aaron. So I said to Stefan, let's walk from now on. And then we just ran the last 100 metres. And I was reflecting on this earlier, that so many of the people we've met on the trail have been doing it their way. Some of them are doing it with massive rucksacks on the back. Others have got Sherpa vans to take their gear from one overnight stop to the other. Some are doing it in 7 days, 10 days, taking it relatively easy. Others, I met some guys last night that were walking it in 3 days, so really long days, and they could barely walk when I saw them last night. So I was thinking, it doesn't matter whether you do it in 30 hours, as I believe somebody did, or 3 days, 4 days, 7 days, 12 days, or if you just do 1 day or a few hours doing the middle section or whatever. If it's a challenge for you, then that's great. You've got an achievement there, it's something you can be proud of. It's not about comparison. One of my favourite quotes is from Mark Twain. He says, comparison is the thief of joy. So, I've learnt over the years to be less competitive and rein myself in and just appreciate things at a slower pace, but still set myself challenges. It's good to push the boundaries, but not in a way that is going to harm the body or trying to beat somebody else. We all have our own levels of challenge, and we don't need to compare ourselves to other people. So it's been great camaraderie en route. We've made some chums, we're going to meet some of them this evening, and I just want to thank everyone who's donated so far. Donations are still open, so if there's anything you can spare and you haven't already donated, it'd be much appreciated. Even if it's just £1, it's all going to worthy causes, so thank you to those people. I want to thank everyone who's supported me and supported the team. In particular, Chris, our support driver, he's had infinite patience with all the supermarket runs and the ferrying gear here, there and everywhere. He's just totally unflappable and very kind and amenable. And I also want to thank Mike, who came along for the middle 2 days, and Stefan for his company throughout the past 4 days. A fantastic achievement from him, 63 years old, and to do what he's done is quite remarkable. And who else do I need to thank? Just everyone who supported us, whether that is through kind words of encouragement or financial or morale or whatever it is. Watch the space for Hadrian's Wall or other similar challenge 2025. Thank you all. Take care.